For the 6th season in a row, Walters is the official bar of the Nats Chat podcast, located across the street from the ballpark, just off South Capitol Street.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Karros is in the batter's box in the 0-2. Got him looking on the outside corner with a cutter. Back-to-back strikeouts in the inning. Cavalli strands Goodman at first after he led off the inning with a single. Nationals 1, Rockies nothing with 6 done in Denver. Burgett sets to the belt. The slim right-hander now delivers. Breaking ball hammered high in the air to right center field. This is way back there. It's got a shot out by the fence. It is gone! Luis Garcia Jr. with a 2-run homer into the Nationals bullpen. 5-0 Washington.
I was just glad that I was able to keep us in the game, and Eddie and Max came out and shut it out. It was just a very satisfying win.
And welcome to Nats Chat. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. I'm joined by Washington Nationals insider Mark Zuckerman of NatsJournal.com. He is at Coors Field in Denver, August 13th. 2005. Where were you? What was going on in your life? You know, the number one song on the Billboard Hot 100 on August 13th, 2005 was We Belong Together by Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey, of whom Nats outfielder Dalen Lyle appears to be a big fan. Have you noticed that? He uses a Mariah Carey song as his walk-up music. But anyway, the Nats on Wednesday did what they had not done since August 13th, 2005. Author a shutout win at the hitter's heaven that is Coors Field. An 8-0 win at the Colorado Rockies on Wednesday to win 2 out of 3 games in the series and to conclude a 4-2 trip out west to begin their post-All-Star break portion of the season. The Nats in MLB's 2026 regular season now are back above 500, 52-51, run differential plus 26. Rockies now a National League worst 41-63 with an NL worst run differential of minus 101. This installment of Nats Chat brought to us by the nonprofit Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund. Tired of paying $4 for a gallon of gas? CCAN Action Fund is raffling 3 amazing electric cars, including a Rivian SUV, as part of an annual fundraiser to fight for clean air in the DMV. The drawing is on July 30th, almost here. Tickets available at evraffle.org. That's evraffle.org. So the Nats on this road trip did face 2 of the worst teams in MLB in the Athletics and Rockies, but the Nats on this road trip took care of business, went 4-2. The Nats over the 4 wins scored a whopping 43 runs. The Nats remain number 1 in MLB in runs. That total now is at 567. Thursday, an off day for the Nats. Hopefully they enjoy it. It is their last scheduled off day until Monday, August 10th. The Nats from Friday, July 24th through Sunday, August 9th have no scheduled off days, 17 games in 17 days. But the Nats went into this off day on Thursday off having completed this 4-2 trip, including this shutout win at the Rockies. Starting pitcher Cade Cavalli and relievers Eddie Yean and Max Kranik combining on a 6-hit shutout. Mark, the Nats over their 2 wins in this series allowed a total of just 3 runs. The pitching came through for the Nats at Coors Field.
It's a great point, Al, and maybe not the names you were expecting in some of those cases, certainly out of the bullpen. But while the offense was consistent throughout, the pitching, aside from what happened in the middle game of the series, was outstanding. And credit to them for that. This is not an easy place to do it. And this was a tight game most of the way. It's 1-0 into the 7th inning before the Nats finally exploded. And so this is shaping up to be a very, tight, low scoring, can't make any mistakes kind of game. And the pitching staff delivered, especially Cavalli in this one. I will say that on August 13th, 2005, I was here at Coors Field. I do know that. I will not claim to remember that game at all, that Tony Armas ever threw 6 scoreless innings for the Nationals, let alone that he did it at Coors Field. I have no memory of that one.
Yeah, so Cade Cavalli on Wednesday was terrific again. 6 scoreless innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. He gave up just 4 hits, which were 2 doubles and 2 singles. Threw a good number of strikes. 90 pitches, 59 strikes, 31 balls. He became just the second Nats pitcher since the franchise moved to Washington, D.C. in the 2004-2005 offseason to toss at least 6 scoreless innings in a game at Coors Field, joining Tony Armas, who on that day of August 13th, 2005, threw 6 scoreless innings. It's amazing. It had been nearly 21 years since what happened on Wednesday had happened. But, with Cade Cavalli, I mean, man, is he locked in right now. And you just have so much confidence in him now, start in and start out, that he's going to do well. In this game, like I said, 6 shutout innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. His velocity was good. His velocity had dipped down a bit in some recent starts. In this game per StatCast, average 4-seam fastball velocity of 97.3 miles per hour. And he just seems so locked in right now. The Rockies are bad. Their offense, though, is good. It's no small feat to do what he did against this Colorado offense. And props to Cade Cavalli, man. What a performance.
Yeah, in the small picture, just what he did in this game, despite the conditions, and he even acknowledged that he knew coming in that the shape of his pitches might look a little different than he's used to, and he found a way through that. He faced traffic. This was not dominant necessarily, like you would typically expect from a scoreless game. He faced traffic most innings, especially early on. The Rockies had 7 at-bats with runners in scoring position in the first 4 innings. They end up going 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts. And I think that, above all else, is what stands out, is that Cade Cavalli has the ability when he gets in trouble to get out of it, not necessarily through contact, not necessarily through his defense behind him, but with swings and misses. And he did that in 5 of those 7 outs that he recorded with runners in scoring position. That's what distinguishes him. And, as we've discussed, Foster Griffin has been their best and most consistent starting pitcher this year, no doubt. But Cade Cavalli has this ability that Foster Griffin does not. And it's why you keep talking about him in terms of a potential number 1 starter down the road. And when you stop and look in the bigger picture now of what he's doing, he's on a really nice run over the last month or so. And it's not always there. Some days he doesn't have it. He had that short outing in the heat where he had to come out very early. But I feel like we've seen a good number of these kind of games now that you come out of it saying, okay, that's why he was a number 1 pick. He is growing into this role of being a frontline starter in the big leagues because of stuff, because of health, thankfully, this year, and because of his ability just to make pitches in big moments, and often that includes getting guys to swing and miss and not just having to rely on the variance of the batted ball like so many others on this staff do.
So here's something that I find interesting. We talk about, well, if there's one hurdle here that we do want to see Cade Cavalli clear, it is being more consistent. And I think there is truth in that. But how about this? His ERAs for each of the full months in this regular season. So April, May, June, July. You ready for this? April, 367 over 6 starts. May, 341 over 5 starts. June, 382 over 6 starts. And now July, 310 over 4 starts. On a month-by-month basis, he actually has been quite consistent. And the overall body of work, I mean, how do you complain? 22 games, all starts, ERA 3.58, whip of 1.29, strikeouts per 9 innings of 10.33. And I continue to go back to how we felt about him 12 months ago and how he was looking like a potential bust, like a potential whiff. And here we are a year later, and the view on him is so different. It is remarkable the kind of progress he has made. All of the missed time for him due to injury and ineffectiveness, it's like he has made up for that lost time over these last 12 months. And he now is in the spot that he was supposed to be in all along, pitching well in meaningful games for the Washington Nationals at the major league level.
It's been worth the wait. It has. And at times it maybe didn't feel like it would be worth it, but it absolutely has. And you're now talking about about a full year's worth of big league games that he has pitched when you take the 10 starts from last year and now said 22 from this year. That's essentially a full season. Yeah, there's maybe one start a month that's not really what you hope it would be, but the other ones have been good to great. And we have to remind ourselves he's still inexperienced at this level and is still learning on the job. And if he was doing this right now this season, having been in the big leagues the last several years, I think we'd say, well, that's about a natural progression. That's probably where he should be right now. He's doing this without having been able to take those intermediate steps from reaching the big leagues to then learning on the job, maybe pitching for a bad team and taking his lumps a little bit. Instead, he's finally healthy. He's finally pitching, and he's doing it in these meaningful games on a team that is winning on a schedule that's maybe ahead of pace. And make no mistake, this was an important game. We talked about it last night. They all acknowledged it after this game, that they knew this was kind of a must-win game.
A really important game for us. I'm sure they all are, hopefully down the stretch. But for whatever reason, this one felt like it was extremely important for us to come out with a win.
And they knew that they wanted Cavalli on the mound to lead the way. And while it took a while for the offense to get going, they had to count on him to put all those zeros up and buy time for the offense to score later on. I think he took that upon himself and said, I got to be good today.
The series was on the line. You want to go win every series.
This is not just any other start. This is a big one. He treated it like that, and the performance was outstanding.
This installment of Nats Chat is brought to us by our friends at the Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund, one of the best nonprofits fighting for a greener environment in the DMV. They're back with their 8th annual electric vehicle raffle for the planet, with all proceeds going to help their fight for cleaner air and a healthier Chesapeake Bay. The drawing is approaching on July 30th, and tickets are going fast. And with gas prices soaring, it's never been a better time to win an electric car. Here are 3 reasons you should visit the website evraffle.org and grab a raffle ticket today. Again, evraffle.org. Number 1, the prize options are amazing. First prize winner will choose their own luxury Rivian, Lucid, or Porsche EV worth up to $115,000. Second place will choose between the Rivian R2, Volkswagen ID Buzz, or a Hyundai Ioniq 5. And the third prize winner gets the amazing Chevy Bolt. Reason number 2, each ticket gets you 3 chances to win an EV, which means your odds are incredible. Tickets are just $200 and a limited number will be sold. They even cover taxes and fees on the prizes. And reason number 3, CCAN Action Fund funds for affordable clean energy nationwide. You can win a brand new EV and support a cleaner world. 3 lucky people are going to win, and you could be one of them. Get your ticket today at www.evraffle.org. That's evraffle.org, or check out the link in today's show notes.
Imagine buying your kid a toy only to find the batteries aren't included, or buying furniture but missing the tools to build it. Frustrating, right? Now imagine the exact same feeling, but you're paying way more. That is what buying business software usually feels like. Fragmented, disconnected, and incredibly expensive. Odoo completely changes that. Odoo is a complete, fully integrated business suite where all your apps actually talk to each other. We're talking automated lead routing for your sales team, seamless AI integration, and intuitive point-and-click website builder. It's everything your business needs to scale, saving you time, headaches, and money. Stop piecing your software together. Go to odoo.com. That's odoo.com to learn more.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Kranik trying to finish off a shutout. He's got McCarthy down, no balls, 2 strikes. And now the pitch on the way. Fastball, strike 3 called, and the game is over. That one right over the inside corner, and the Nationals complete the shutout and complete this road trip with a series win in Colorado 8-0 the final.
The Nats relief pitching in this 8-0 win at the Rockies on Wednesday came through. 2 Nats relievers combined for 3 scoreless innings. Eddie Yean tossed 2 scoreless innings. He tossed a perfect bottom of the 7th and tossed a scoreless bottom of the 8th, despite giving up a single and despite issuing a walk. And Max Kranik tossed a scoreless bottom of the 9th, despite issuing a walk and a wild pitch and despite giving up a single. You know, the Nats relief pitching in each of the 2 wins in this series was quite good. Remember the 7-3 win at the Rockies on Monday night, when that game had 3 Nats relievers combining for 4 2/3 scoreless and hitless innings. And I know I'm sort of, drawing the lines in a convenient way here when I do this, but the Game 2 loss, if you don't consider Carson Palmquist pitching in relief in that game, and technically he did not, and you don't consider Miles Michaelis pitching in relief in that game, although technically he did, you got some good stuff from Nats relievers in that game, even if you include the Clayton Beeter home run. But take Game 2 out. Games 1 and 3 of this series, the Nats bullpen really doing well.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about not necessarily the names that you're thinking of. In this one, Eddie Yean and Max Kranik. In the opener on Monday night, it was the likes of Riley Cornelio and Matt Crook and Tom Cosgrove who closed that one out. This is where they're at. You know, they're going to try everyone, see what they can do. And what I liked is that for the most part, they came into Coors Field and they attacked hitters. They threw strikes. They weren't afraid to throw breaking balls. They threw a ton of breaking balls in this series, and I feel like had a lot of success with that. So that was good stuff all around. I was glad to see Yean get back in there for the first time since his major league debut. He looked good again. I thought, and maybe it would have happened, he was just a little too pitch inefficient in that second inning. I thought he might have a shot at a 3-inning save in this one when they brought him in for the 7th. And also, for the record, it was 1-0 when Cavalli came off the mound at the end of the 6th at 90 pitches. Blake Butera confirmed he would have gone back out there for the 7th if the game was still close. And the fact that Nats scored all those runs and turned it into a blowout is what allowed him to then go to the bullpen. So great job by the bullpen, but he was fully prepared to let Cavalli go at least one more at the 90 pitch mark if it's still a 1-0 game or maybe 2 or 3-0.
The Nats offense in this series, the Nats over the 3 games totaled 22 runs, so another excellent series for the Nats bats. The Nats on Wednesday, 8 runs, 14 hits, which were a home run, a triple, 2 doubles, and 10 singles, 3 walks, 5 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Now, the nature of this game was something. The Nats entering the top of the 7th held a 1-0 lead, but they in the top of the 7th scored 6 runs on a home run, 4 singles, 2 walks, and 3 Rockies errors. We actually were in the midst of a pitcher's duel at Coors Field until we were not. The Nats, though, actually did struggle against the Rockies starting pitcher Gabriel Hughes. So the Rockies took him with the number 10 overall pick in the 2022 MLB draft out of Gonzaga University. He in this, just his 4th career MLB regular season game, just his 3rd career MLB regular season start. 1 run, 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. The Nats did do a good job at driving up his pitch count. Over his 5 innings through 88 pitches, 60 strikes, just 28 balls. But this was something. It was Cade Cavalli versus Gabriel Hughes. And then it was like, okay, you can only hold down Coors Field for so long. You can only hold down the hapless Rockies for so long. And the Rockies are going to Rocky. And sure enough, a 6-run 7th for the Nats, including 5 Nats hits, 2 Nats walks, and 3 Rockies errors. That was some inning.
Yeah, and in the dugout, they kind of sensed it. They knew, like, hey, just stick with this. This is going to come through for us eventually. They gave credit to Hughes. He was a tough matchup for them. They had never seen him before, obviously, and he did pitch well. But they did drive up his pitch count, and that got him out of there. And you just kind of knew, get to the Colorado bullpen with this lineup. It's going to pay off. And, oh, my God, did it feel like the Rockies just kind of gave up in that inning once it started to go south on them. Mickey Moniak just butchering a ball in left field. Then you have that play on the Dylan Cruz hit where there's a bad throw from the center fielder, then a bad throw from the catcher, the pitcher, a local kid, by the way, Agnos, grew up in Haymarket and is a big Nats fan. Actually, yet another one of these. We're hearing more and more about these here in recent years.
0-1. Cruz hits a hard ground ball into left center. That's a base hit. Taina scores. Abrams goes first to third. Throw comes into second, holding Cruz to a single. It's 6-0, and now the throw come in. Skitters by second base, throw home. Abrams dives in safely. The throw goes over to the third base dugout. Nobody is covering third base, and Cruz ends up at third base on a snowball fight. Wow, it's 7-zip. Nationals, and the Boo Birds are out at Coors Field.
He goes tumbling over the plate as a runner slides into him. Cruz ends up at third base. The boos were pretty loud at that point at Coors Field. That felt like the 2026 Rockies in a nutshell, that inning. But props to the Nats. They hung in there. They stuck with it. They knew eventually they were going to convert, and they end up in all 3 games of this series scoring at least 7 runs, which I'm not surprised by that, given this team and in this ballpark. But it just kind of underscores how consistently reliable they have been as an offense. So that if they didn't do that, we probably would have been surprised if they even had one off night offensively in this ballpark.
5 Nats players each had at least 2 hits. A DH and number 3 batter Jose Tena, shortstop and number 4 batter CJ Abrams, center fielder and number 5 batter Dylan Cruz, third baseman and number 8 batter Jorbit Bibas, and second baseman and number 9 batter Nasim Nunez. The only Nats player who had more than 2 hits was Abrams. He went 4 for 5 with a double, 3 singles, and a stolen base. What a series Abrams ended up having. He was the Nats starting shortstop and cleanup batter in each game. The 7-3 win at the Rockies on Monday night, Abrams 1 for 5 with a 2-run homer. The 8-7 loss at the Rockies on Tuesday night, Abrams 2 for 3 with 2 2-run homers and a walk. And now we have what he did on Wednesday, 4 for 5, double, 3 singles, stolen base. His OPS now at 903. What a terrific series for CJ Abrams.
And good to see that, because there was a little bit of a stretch earlier where kind of thought he might be cooling off or going through a little bit of a slump. But like James Wood, he's done such a good job of not letting those down periods linger for long. And when he gets hot, he gets really hot. He was on fire in this series, and just playing that cool, calm, collected, like nothing to panic about here. I think this has turned out to be a really good road trip for him. James Wood also, after a slow start in Sacramento, started to kill the ball. He hit one. It was a lineup, but he hit it like 115 miles an hour in this game. A lot better stuff from him. Not that you didn't deep down expect it from them, but I think it was nice to see that if there was a little bit of concern about the big bats struggling coming out of the All-Star break, they got it back pretty quickly, and now are going to head home feeling good about themselves.
Al Galdi here to tell you about Window Nation. But before that, the Window Nation look into the future.
The payoff. Scott in the air out towards right field. Munguia can't find it, and it ball is gone into Bully Hill. While Munguia put both hands out as House muscles it up the opposite way and hits his 8th home run of the season.
Hey, Al Galdi here for Window Nation. If you're using chat to research your next home improvement project, forget the prompts. We've got all the details on a company that you can trust. For replacement windows and doors without the hassle, just look up Window Nation. Window Nation is the real deal. Homeowners across the country love the one-day installation process, especially since Window Nation installers leave your home cleaner than when they started. And this month, you can get 50% off all window styles, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 years. That's a lot of savings on top of quality windows and doors. 866-90NATION or windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast. Window Nation, the real deal when it comes to replacement windows and doors. 866-90NATION, windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast.
Imagine buying your kid a toy only to find the batteries aren't included, or buying furniture but missing the tools to build it. Frustrating, right? Now imagine the exact same feeling, but you're paying way more. That is what buying business software usually feels like. Fragmented, disconnected, and incredibly expensive. Odoo completely changes that. Odoo is a complete, fully integrated business suite where all your apps actually talk to each other. We're talking automated lead routing for your sales team, seamless AI integration, and intuitive point-and-click website builder. It's everything your business needs to scale, saving you time, headaches, and money. Stop piecing your software together. Go to odoo.com. That's ODOO.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Lyle at second, Bebas at first with one out. 1-0 Nationals. Herr gets 1-1. Nunez swings, slaps a ground ball through the left side for a hit. Lyle races around third. He's headed home, and Moniak overruns it in left field. Bebas touches third. He streaks for the plate. 2 runs come in. 3-0 Nationals with Nunez standing up at second base.
The only Nats player who homered in this game was Luis Garcia Jr. He was the Nats starting first baseman and number 2 batter, 1 for 5 with a 2-run homer. Garcia in that Nats 6-run 7th, a 2-out 2-run homer to right center field for a 5-0 Nats lead. The homer went a projected 421 feet per Statcast. Garcia now at 21 home runs and an OPS of 861. I think the Luis Garcia Jr. situation from a contractual standpoint is so interesting. So, he has come up a bit as a potential trade candidate for the Nats, although, more and more, it may well be that the Nats don't sell at all, and it's just a question of how much do they buy. But, for all of the talk about C.J. Abrams, this is Abrams' age 25 season. He's under team control through the 2028 season. This is Garcia's age 26 season. He's only under team control through next season. Garcia actually is set to be a free agent 1 year sooner than Abrams. Now, obviously, Garcia is not on the level of Abrams, but given the season that Garcia is having, we talk about should/will the Nats extend Abrams, should/will the Nats extend starting pitcher Foster Griffin. I wonder what Nats president of baseball operations, Paul Taboni, is thinking about Luis Garcia Jr. And obviously, so much of that would be predicated on how real you believe his great offensive season is. But I feel like this is getting overlooked a little bit. He's due to be a free agent after next season. And so when we talk about potential extensions, Garcia's name should be included in that right now.
It probably should be based on all that you outlined. I don't know that I've gotten much of a sense that it is. And I think it probably boils down to a couple of factors here. One is the position. He's playing first base now full time, and he's been fine there. He's not going to be above average, but he's been fine. But I don't get the sense that this group, and that starts with Paul Taboni, but it goes down throughout the front office and the coaching staff as well. I don't get the sense that they really prioritize first base as the kind of spot where you want to lock somebody up long term. I think they feel like that's a spot you put whoever's hitting well, and maybe even prefer to have a platoon situation with a lefty and a righty. And so if there's only so many big name guys that you think you might want to lock up long term, I don't know that they view that as necessarily one. And if he can't play first base, I think they've pretty much given up on second base now. Then you're just talking about him as a DH. And I don't know they want to lock themselves in to that in the long run. On top of that, they do have some promising younger players who could eventually take over that position. Abimelec Ortiz is one of them, another left-handed bat. Yo-Yo Morales, potentially at some point as a right-handed bat, could be part of that. Curtis Mead, when it's all said and done, could be a part of a first base situation. So I just feel like where they're at, both their philosophy at that position and what else they think they have coming along the way, I don't know that they really view Garcia as part of the long-term plan, which is why I do think it's possible, even if they're over 500, even if they may go out and try to acquire some relievers at the deadline, it would not shock me if they moved him and even used this career year that he's having to help them get some pitching that they need. I don't know that for a fact, but it wouldn't shock me if they went that way with him. And not because they don't love what he's done for them, not that he hasn't been a really important player as the senior member of the organization, believe it or not, but thinking even beyond this year, I don't know that they feel like he is one of the guys they should attach themselves to in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a little extreme, but I don't think that it is. In a lot of instances, you have to say, are you going to extend him or are you going to trade him? And it's one or the other. It's one extreme or the other. And so if you have no plans or desire to extend him, then you should be open to trading him, especially with this idea of selling high, which the Nats could do. Now, there would be the argument of, hey, if you're in a playoff race and Garcia's having the season that he's having, hold on to him for at least the rest of this season because he could help you make the playoffs. And that's not an unreasonable thing to say. But you talk about selling high. I mean, his stock is not going to be much higher than it is right now. Another season of team control, and he has been one of the best offensive players in baseball for a while now. Man, to not capitalize on that if you truly don't have any plans on trying to extend him, and if you potentially don't really believe that this is who he is, because that's the other thing. Like, what does Taboni really think about this from Luis Garcia Jr.? And there's also this, too, to further complicate all this. If you're the Nats and you have this new process, do you maybe start to develop a bit of organizational arrogance of, we can find another Luis Garcia Jr., we can find another Curtis Mead, we'll sprinkle our analytics magic on the next guy we bring in here, and we'll turn that guy into someone with an OPS above 800?
It's entirely possible that they think in those terms. That would not really surprise me at all. I think in the end, it boils down to, and I'm going to say this a lot over the next couple of weeks, as far as anybody's name who comes up in trade discussions, it really boils down to what are other teams offering for them. I don't think they feel compelled to move anybody. Maybe if they have a terrible 2 weeks and they're way out of the race, then you say, okay, we're trading Foster Griffin no matter what. But barring that, and assuming that they're still somewhat in the race or on the fringes of the race, I don't think they will look at this and say, well, we have to trade this guy, we have to trade that guy, which has been the case in recent years where they've had a lot of these players pending free agents that it was essentially, okay, what's our best offer we have for him? And at 6 p.m. on trade deadline day, okay, take it. In Garcia's case, they're open to offers, I'm sure. And I think it applies to a lot of others on the team as well. But if other teams don't value him the same way the Nats do, or if they don't see him as truly an impact bat for the next year and a half, I don't think they feel like they have to move him. Ride it out this year, see what he can do for you, and maybe even have him be a part of a team next year. And if you lose him as a free agent, I know that's not the ideal scenario, just to lose a guy as a free agent. But if he doesn't have that much trade value and he does help your team, if he's more valuable to your team than somebody else's, stick with him and see if he can help you win something next year before then having to make a final decision.
Next up for the Nats is a 6-game homestand, beginning with a 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks at Nationals Park. The Nats have listed the following starting pitchers as probables for the series. Game 1 Friday evening, 6:45, Zach Littell. Game 2 Saturday afternoon, 4:05, Foster Griffin. Game 3 Sunday afternoon, 1:35, Miles Michaelis. So the Nats at 52 and 51 are a sparkling 32 and 20 on the road, 20 and 31 at home. 12 games above 500 on the road, 11 games below 500 at home. A 6-game homestand is up next. And after that, by the way, comes a brutal 8-game road trip, a 4-game series at the Atlanta Braves, a 4-game series at the Philadelphia Phillies. Who knows what's going to happen on that road trip? But specific to this homestand, the Nats not doing well at home needs to stop. If this team is going to make a true run to the postseason, you cannot play at the clip that this team has been playing at Nationals Park. So this is a significant 6-game homestand beginning with these 3 games against the Diamondbacks.
I agree. I think this is a minimum 3-3 homestand for them. If they don't, you're now coming out of that under 500 with only a few days to go before the trade deadline. And as you said, going on the road to face the Braves and the Phillies. That could be the beginning of the end for them. If, on the other hand, you can go 4-2, at least, now you're above 500, probably right in the thick of the race going into those final days before the deadline. And I think you've put the pressure on Paul Taboni to say, we need to look to add as opposed to subtracting. The Blue Jays were supposed to be really good. Obviously, they came within inches of winning the World Series last year. It's been a mess of a year for them, a lot of it because of injuries. Barring a major turnaround from them, they could be in sell mode themselves. So that could be a team ripe for beating 2 out of 3. The Diamondbacks, this is an important series because they are one of the several teams that are right there in that same race with the Nationals for the 3rd wild card spot. You really need to come into this and say, we have to take 2 out of 3 from each of those at minimum to put yourself in the best position coming out of it. These are important games, the most important games this franchise has played in quite a while. And I will be really interested to see how they either rise to that occasion or fall back. And I agree, it's time for that home road split thing to come to an end. If they're going to actually make a run at this the rest of the way, they're going to have to win games at home. You can't do it all on the road. It's got to happen at Nationals Park.
This installment of Nats Chat brought to us by the nonprofit Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund. Tired of paying $4 for a gallon of gas? CCAN Action Fund is raffling 3 amazing electric cars, including a Rivian SUV, as part of an annual fundraiser to fight for clean air in the DMV. The drawing is on July 30th. That's coming up. Tickets are available at evraffle.org. That's evraffle.org. You tell us what you think. Hit us up on X at Nats_chat. You can find us on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. If you would like to support the podcast via advertising on the show, contact the man who runs the podcast, Tim Shovers. You can reach him via email at natschatpodcast@gmail.com. Also, we have a website you can check out too, natschatpodcast.com, at which you can purchase a Nats Chat podcast t-shirt. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. For Mark Zuckerman, I'm Al Galdi. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat podcast.
The 0-2. Nunez pokes one in the air, shallow left. This one may fall in. It will. Ruiz back to tag at third. He'll come down the line and score. Into second is Bibas, and Nunez has his second RBI hit in the last 2 innings, and it's 8-0 Nationals.